Rapid Transformation Nail Course. We will start by wearing the protective gloves. Next, we will sanitize the hands with antiseptic spray, both from inside and outside of the palm to remove any trace of bacteria. With a clipper, we will cut the nails short, leaving 1 to 2 millimeters of free edge. With a file, we shape the nails into round shape, taking off the nail sides as much as possible. We do not want the nails to be long, especially when using dual forms for enhancement, as they will act as an impediment in setting and aligning the form of the nail bed. The model has very thick and strong nails. For this reason, I am using a file with grid 180 to file, but this is not a new file, therefore is not as sharp as a new one, which allows me to shape her nails. If the model would have thinner or softer nails, then I would use a file with grid 220 and higher, similar to a manicure file. It is important to be able to identify the nail type you are working with in order to select the right tools suitable for your task. A high-grid new file used on thin and brittle nails can harm the nail and even cut the skin around the nails. With a soft, fluffy brush, I remove the dust caused by filing. Using a metal pusher, I gently push the cuticles. The metal pusher needs to be carefully used without any pressure to avoid scratching the nail and causing damage. When dealing with a delicate and thin cuticle, try to use the orange stick for this. Pushing back cuticle harshly can damage the nail matrix. Once the matrix gets damaged, you will not be able to fix it. What happens is the matrix cannot generate the sufficient number of cells to form the new nail, which will leave ridges on the nails. To avoid this situation, you must hold the pusher almost laying down the nail. With the help of the electric drill, I will file off the nail any dry skin or pterygium. This way, I will lift more the cuticle, making possible the product application closer to the cuticle. I use the pear-shaped drill bit with a dull end. Preparing correctly the nail bed before product application will make the process easier, faster, and will prolong the life of the artificial nails. Shortly, you will see a close-up of the process where you can clearly see how the drill bit works. From the middle of the nail with the machine in forward mode, I start filing towards left. I place the bit between the cuticle and nail bed, slightly touching the nail bed. To see better, I pull the cuticle with matte left thumb. I usually do the left side of 5 nails in forward mode. Then I switch to reverse mode and file the right side of it. From the middle of the nail, I file toward the corner in short strokes, and then from the corner, I file down to the nail sides in longer strokes. With the lateral side of the drill bit, I file the hard skin of the nail sides. Again, I am repeating the same steps, pulling the skin with my fingers to see if there is any skin left to file. Overfiling can cause injury. Avoid overfiling the skin around the nail, as we may cut the skin while filing the polygel. With a rougher brush, I remove the skin dust of the nail. I brush in upwards direction to keep the cuticle lifted. Brushing it downwards will cause the cuticle to lay back down on the nail. At some point, the cuticle will lay down again, but we need to make sure we keep it lifted as much as possible. I will cut the cuticle of the model because her cuticle is very thick and it's in my way. If you are dealing with thin, sensitive cuticle, cut it only at the end of treatment if you will have any cuticle left. In the process of product filing, the cuticle is being partially filed off. Using nail cleanser, I completely clean any dust off the nail. This will allow us to have a completely clean nail before applying the base gel. Next step in preparing the nail is using the dehydrator. The dehydrator dissolves the oil of the natural nail surface and promotes adhesion. It evaporates quickly. 1 coat is enough. 2 coats might overdraw the nail. Base coat must be applied before polygel, so it properly adheres to the nail. I personally use gelish foundation. I apply on all 5 nails. Please be careful not to apply the base coat too close to the cuticle or the nail sides. This will cause the product to lift. Apply 1 millimeter away from the cuticle and sides. To see, better hold the finger tight with your thumb and index finger, pulling a bit the skin down to open the nail sides. An important step in preparing the nail for product application is buffing. I didn't mention it before because my model had gel polish on her nails and we removed it before starting the video. When removing the gel polish, we buffed the nails with a buff. I highly recommend do it just after you cut the nails and before the manicure. Now, we will fit the dual forms and choose the suitable size. They come in different sizes, so you have options to match most of the nails. I'm going to demonstrate now how the form should fit the nail without any product on. The form must look a bit big on the nail. It shouldn't fit the nail precisely. It should be bigger than the nail. If it fits the nail, know that the form is small. It must completely cover the sides of the nails. Here is a demonstration where the form at the first sight is fitting perfectly, but when you check the sides, you can see it's small. It's like sliding from left to right. These are the two brushes that I use for product application. They are oval shape and quality. I recommend investing in good, quality tools. Next, we will need a pusher, scraper, or orange stick to slice off the needed quantity of polygel. Polygel is a sticky product, so we need a slip solution to gently glide the product over the nail in the desired shape and thickness. It eliminates friction, so there is not dragging when we are brushing the product. Now, before I start spreading the product on the form, I soak my brush in the slip solution. Fit doesn't have to be over wet. If you feel the brush is too wet, just tap the brush on the prepared wipe. With tapping movements, I gently spread the product over the form. We spread the product evenly to fully cover the sides. Now we will apply the form on the nail. Step back 3 to 4 millimeters away from the cuticle. Place the form on the nail with the whole body. Gently press on it and push it upwards to the cuticle, not reaching it. Leave 2 millimeter gap between the form and the cuticle. Check that the form completely stacked to the nail and there are no gaps. I take the brush and gently smooth the product between the form and the cuticle. With tapping movements, I blend the transition from natural nail to the artificial nail. Upturn the finger and spread the product from the interior side of the nail. This step is very important, as if the product is not spread properly before curing, it will be very difficult to file it off after curing. We are double-checking the sides to have enough product. It's important to always make the nail a 2 to 3 millimeter longer than the desired length of the client, so you have enough length to file the right length and shape. I cure in the UV lamp for 10 seconds. I use a metal clamp to curve the nail more. After clamp application, I cure 60 seconds. The form comes off easily, and we have an almost perfect shaped nail. Polygel cures in LED lamp. We are fitting the form for the next finger. You can easily see that the form fits perfectly on the nail. I apply the product on the inside part of the form and I spread into the wanted length. I make the same tapping movements, and when needed, I dip the brush into the slip solution. If the product is dragging or sticking to the brush, then you need to wet the brush moderately. Over-wet brush will cause the product to soften and thin and will be harder to work with. Stepping away from the cuticle 3 to 4 millimeters, we place the form on the nail bed and push it upwards 2 millimeters, leaving a gap between the cuticle and the form. The excess product that you see must be tapped into the gap between the cuticle and form, creating a smooth transition from the natural nail to the artificial nail. Now you will see a close-up of the form application. Before curing, we turn the finger and we spread the product evenly. We cure for 10 seconds. We apply the clamp and then we cure again for 60 seconds. Using the same technique, we apply the forms on the rest of the nails. When you apply the form, don't press too much, or all the product will pop up from the sides. If you aim for a square shape, make sure the corners are well defined by the product. When spreading the product from underneath the nail, do not tap too hard. This will cause the form to lift. If at some point you notice that you need to add more product, please do so. That's how the nails look at this stage. We can notice that the shape and the length is very well defined. Next step is filing the nail body, shape, and length. With a gel cleanser, I will remove the sticky coat. For filing, I will use 2 files grid 180. One file is new and one is a bit older. The older file I will use to file the sides and around the cuticle, and the new file I will use to file the body and the length. I start by filing the sides. We want to have in the end square-shaped nails, therefore I hold the file straight, not to narrow the free edge. I firmly hold the finger with my thumb and index finger. I file the length gradually and to check if the shape is right. I upturn the hand and check the shape from that position. Once I made adjustments here, I don't change anything when I take the hand back. When filing, try to brush off the dust as often as possible so you can see how much is left to file. Using a drill, I will file the product around the cuticle and nail sides. The machine is in forward mode, and I file from left to right. Turning the finger in a position that's comfortable to file. With the thumb and index finger, pull the skin away from the nail so you can have a clear view of what you are filing. Next, I file and smooth the nail from underneath. If you cannot operate the electric drill very well, I suggest filing from the middle to the left in forward mode, and then from the middle to the right in reverse mode. Always check your client's sensations, as taking the drill too deep can cause heating. I am checking the nail to see if the C curve is even on both left and right side. Last step is buffing the nail surface. As you notice, we barely filed the body of the nail. The nail was shaped with a perfect apex thanks to the dual form. I am double checking the sides and I am completely happy with the left side. But I'm not so happy with the right side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of product where I have the gap. That's a perfect situation to see how to fix a nail or how to add sides while refiling. Using the same techniques, I move to the next finger. I file a bit the length. I check it if it's straight by turning the hand upwards. Gradually, I file the sides. A bit on one side, then I move to the other side. If you use the new file to file the sides and around the cuticle, you might cut the skin. I use the drill to file around the cuticle, sides, and underneath the nail. Please notice how I support my hand while filing with the drill. My right pinky supports on my left middle finger, while the elbow is on the desk. If your hands are not supported, they can easily slip, or you can file more than needed. You will notice that the product gets between the blades of the drill. First, it's because of its sticky layer, so we need to remove the stickiness from underneath. Second, it's because of its texture. The drill can be easily cleaned with an orange stick. During the video, you will see me doing that. I'm checking the sizes of the nails. Index, middle, and ring finger should be the same length. While filing the left side of the nail, I notice a small gap. So I'm going to add product to fix it. Now I'm completely happy with the shape. Using the same technique, we file the rest of the nails. With the drill bit, I cut the cuticle from the left side. In this case, I will use hydrogen peroxide to disinfect the cut and stop the bleeding. I am so pleased of how the nails look after filing. Smooth transition from natural nail to the artificial. Apex is correctly placed thanks to the dual form. Defined shape. Adding some nail art on a featured nail. Last step, I apply the top coat and I cure for 60 seconds. Apply cuticle oil. Thank you for watching!